Rolling right now.
All right, Soundcheck. Got a special feature for your day. I got a main gospel singer, Mr. Jonathan McReynolds. And first, I had the pleasure of seeing you at Stellar Awards for the first time, and was introduced to your music, and that performance for Pressure like moved me. And like online, I just read the comments every day. People like, oh man, that song really gets me going. So my first question to you is like, what has Pressure kind of how has Pressure affected your career? How's the pressure of like maybe conforming or whatever, how has that affected you in your career?
Well, you know what? I've been working on trying not to let it affect me at all. I did write that song from a very personal place. The first album, the first compilation of music, the first thing that I called life music. I didn't expect nobody to hear that thing. I just signed, and so the music that I had written, in college, I wrote it just out of my heart.
Yeah.
For me to like it, my mom and best friend to like it. I never had to worry about, thousands of people liking it, label putting money and energy behind it. So now this one is totally different.
Yeah.
We have, praise be to God, we have reached a certain level of notoriety, a certain level of recognition. So now we're expecting people to hear this record. And so there was definitely, it had to be an intentional thing for me to really try to stay in that innocent, naive place and to write things like I wrote them the first time in the shower, on the toilet, wherever, what I'm saying, and not think about, the industry thing.
Yeah. And the industry, like, I mean, I know this isn't you, but just going to that Stellar Awards, one of the things that I've been keeping up with is like these videos posted from that night, and when Canton Jones and all those fellas like kind of went and performed, they got a lot of brushback as from people that think gospel is supposed to be, the way they want it to be, and not a different way. Do you get any of that from your vocals? Do you get anybody saying, "Hey, you're not doing the traditional way, or you're not doing it this way"? Do you ever hear that feedback?
I don't hear it too much. I think when I first began and I just was starting to figure out what I was gonna do and what to call it and everything else, called it life music. There were definitely some people that were worried, but I think. If you go back to what really makes gospel music, it's always been about the message and the conviction, the genuineness that comes from your heart when you actually express that message. And so I think, people have to understand that, honestly, gospel was kind of risque when it first came out. Adding jazz chords to Negro spirituals was not something that everybody was happy about. It's definitely something that it started getting traction once that generation actually came into power, or came to being the church, came to being the leaders. It started to get traction when people realized this is coming from their heart. There's power in it. It's power for this generation to learn about God, express God in their own way. So I think that's going to happen with the youth as well. And I honestly, again, thanks be to God, I think people have seen that I'm real about this message. This is, I really mean it, and it's coming from my heart in my own way. It might be weird, a clunky fit in church sometimes, but it's definitely from my heart, and the content, the message is still there. That message is tried and true. It is universal. It has been there for centuries. We're just decorating it in a different way.
I know many artists in the past have done try to expand their audience past the audience you would expect to listen to life music or gospel music. I mean, like a Lecrae would be one, and there's others, of course. Do you today you performed on Revolt, which usually doesn't cover gospel. Do you feel like your music is expanding its audience past the, I guess, normal churchgoers or whomever people would expect to listen to it?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's not an intentional thing. It's not something that I set out to do. Hey, you know what? I want to be on R&B, outlets. This is something that I'm aiming for. No, it's not. It's something that just happened. The songs that I was writing, the way I wanted to write them, the way that I could sing them, the way that my friends and I heard them, the conversations that we had, that all came together to form this type of music. And it's just, by God's, I guess, ordaining His will that people outside of church are gravitating toward it. And so I'm certainly not going to run away from an opportunity, not to, sing to people that already get it, but
Yeah.
to sing to people that don't. And honestly, I'm grateful to God that He trusted me to kind of make a case for Him to people that aren't necessarily convinced already, aren't persuaded by this whole Christianity thing. And I'm really blessed. It wasn't something that I expected. It wasn't something that I went for, but I'm grateful that it's happening anyway.
You said earlier in the interview that when you first started making writing these songs in college, you was making them for your mom and your best friend. But now when you get on stage, I mean, you was to a full audience at the Orleans Arena, and you've done audiences at other venues. I mean, now it's different. It's not just them in the audience. You have this big. How do you do that as a performer? How do you get over your nerves? Do you get nervous? Is there something that you do special before you go on stage? Like, what's your routine?
I mean, I don't have much of a routine. Sometimes I think about how I'm going to start. Starting is probably the most important part. Once you break the ice, once you put your hand out for people to, grab onto, you can pull them and take them wherever you need to go. So it's always been important for me to think about where I'm going to start, what's the first thing I'm going to say. But after that, just pray. And, honestly, God has preceded me on all these stages. I'm saying things as they pass, but He's already known the end from the beginning. He's already seen all this stuff. He's already prepared me to do it. And so it's really just about me walking up there with not just confidence in myself, but confidence in Him. Confidence in the things that He's allowed me to do and what He's setting me up for. He hasn't set me up to fail. And so, I go up there and I try to do my thing. I'm kind of the intimate type of person when it comes to my artistry. So, I think, God has taught me to kind of make the huge arenas and even outside feel like a living room, and just bring them back into the lyrics, the message, because that's always been my primary thing in the first place.
And you do some customization. I've heard different iterations of some of your songs, and like even going back to Stellar's, like you customized it to the moment when you was talking about things that was going on. Are you freestyling that, or you rehearsed that like that before?
Well, I'm pretty good at freestyling now, and I think what happened was, especially at the beginning of my career, I used to forget the words of my songs all the time. And so I think I always had to cover. And now it's kind of a muscle that has gotten stronger now. And so, I just, I like to make sure, again, that people are always in tune and really, focused on the message. And so sometimes I do things just to pull you back in, to make sure you're not listening to music so much. You're listening to the message, you listen to the words. And, sometimes you got to catch people off guard and just, tell them about something they're actually looking at right now, something that just happened. And it's always been just fun for me. It keeps it fresh for me. And, I know that, it kind of endears me to the people that are listening as well.
Tell me about this new album. Tell me about your maturation. I know you said you're trying to keep it steady and have the same humble spirit and creating the music, but tell me what to expect on this new album and some of like the tracks that maybe you're most proud of, or that you think that people are gonna probably hear or gravitate to first. Yeah,
you know what? I mean, when I released that first album, I guess I was like 21 or 22. And
you're 22 and a half now?
Yeah, I'm 25, about to turn 26 now, So, I mean, definitely I was a college student when I wrote that first stuff. Now I'm a college adjunct professor, what I'm saying? So life has changed. So I think, first of all, you're going to hear that the thing that I use to, use for inspiration has actually changed. It's mature. My life has actually moved. It's changed. I went from being pretty, anonymous to now being somebody that, people actually respect or listen to or kind of like or think they kind of know, what I'm saying? So things have changed. So, I'm really excited about the different topics that I'm kind of, expressing or, embracing in this particular album. Definitely the transparent songwriting is still there. That's definitely that's my calling card. That's what I go for, is to just be myself, write things that help me. Self-evangelizing songs, self-motivating songs. And, it's been a blessing that those songs are the ones that actually carry over to other people and affect their hearts as well. So that's the same. But I'm really excited because this time there is a huge diversity, a huge variety of music, a variety of feels and influences. I'm really excited about it. Even if I just told you the collaborations, you'll see the range. It's Israel Holden, all the way to NDRE, all the way to Derek Minor, all the way to Shantae Khan. And I'm really excited. It's still all me. It was not contrived. It was really fun to just be myself. I'm thankful that I've kind of created a certain niche that people expect me to be different. So I wanted to use that and go ahead and, give people, how I truly feel and all the music that I really listen to and the influences that I really like from my music. And so it's going to be really good, man. I'm really excited about this one.
Tell me about this collaboration with NDRE, because I know y'all both could do something on the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how was it just collaborating with her as an artist?
Well, she's incredible, man. I think what people credit her with coming up in like the 90s and 2000s, the thing that she did in the R&B world, people are kind of giving me that same credit for doing in the gospel world. Just a different approach, different topics, different, just whatever, a different overall standard or principle towards the music. And so it's been really cool to forge a friendship with her and, to really talk about, we have similar experiences all the time. We have a similar musical mind. And it was really cool. Actually, this song that we did is called Whole. I'm really excited about it. It was really good, produced by Shannon Sanders, somebody who I've always wanted to work with. Actually has no guitar in it at all.
Oh, okay.
It's no guitar. And but it's a great song. It still has that acoustic feel. It's just actually no actual acoustic guitar in it. And I'm really excited about it, man. It's actually out now in Yahoo Music. They did a special exclusive premiere, so man, it's just incredible.
Do you write for other artists also? I mean, I know that's one of your great muscles in your artistry is your writing. I know it's so personal to you, but are you able to write for other gospel artists or life artists or whomever?
Yeah, that's the problem. I'm not, because it's so personal, because I write so much out of my life, I haven't mastered writing for other people. I almost have to know them, know their life. Sometimes I'll ask them, like, what are you going through? Like, where you at? Just to try to, get a mind. Otherwise, I'm just giving out songs that I haven't used, But, that's definitely something that, as I get older, I definitely want to do more and more. But I'm just grateful that, the brand or the style of writing is real suited to me and my voice. It's based on my strengths, my weaknesses, my limitations, whatever. I'm not gonna write the churchiest song in the world because I can't squall. I can't give you that. So I probably won't write it either. Maybe in time there's definitely been opportunities. So I'm gonna work as I get older to be able to write for other people as well.
Now, I'm going to take this a little bit more to just, society in general and what's kind of the topic of the day. People are really discussing what's going on around the world and what's going on in America with policing and brutality and this Black Lives Matter movement. What do you think the community, including the church community, I want to separate them from everybody, but what do you think we as a society can do to kind of change the situations that what we're dealing with today?
Man, it's so layered, man. It's kind of like, do you want to deal with the root of the problem or the symptoms of the problem? Honestly, things that happen, Ferguson, New York, everywhere, those are not necessarily fixable things. It's a symptom of something else. It's a symptom of a mass bad image that people like me and you have to the rest of the world. I just left Germany and they treated me the same way. Some people love me, but other people are still very standoffish. They yelled at me like a dog at one point. And it's just a mass image of who they think we are. And sometimes who we play into being. Yeah. Is you gonna pay me to just act like that? Or to sing about those type of things? Okay, cool. And so all we do is continue to further that image. And so then when those people see that big old scary monster called a black man, they don't know how to react. They react with with definitely unreasonable force. Mm-hmm. And it's their fault, but it's also the fault of the society at large. It's kind of what we've created. It's what many people have made money off of. It's what many people have glorified. And so it's almost like, don't get mad now. You have to work to actually change the big pot of culture that we're all eating out of. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell people to stop eating. They got to eat. Yeah. But stop eating out of the pot that says black people are dangerous, black people are crazy, black people are stupid, black people are less than, black people are violent. and actually start working to change the whole society, the whole image that we've created for ourselves to be one that is actually more realistic and that we are successful.
Yeah.
You know, we're intelligent people. We're people that, you know, love God or love people. Whatever you want to do, there's definitely an image thing that has to be done, because you really can't legislate people's hearts.
Yeah.
You know, there's not much you can do. You know, and you know, I think as a Christian, you know, I think we realize all of this is symptomatic of broken people, a fallen nature, you know what I'm saying? A sinful culture.
Yeah.
You know, we can't, no matter how much we try, we can't get this thing together by ourselves. This is why we really need God. And that's why I'm out here doing this. That's why I'm going to Revolt TV and other places like that. Because, man, the stuff that goes on in some of these other places, they're glorifying something else. So let's try to glorify God. Let's try to glorify positivity, excellence, respect. And hopefully over time, it's not going to be quick, but over time, things will change.
All right, where can the fans keep up with where you're going to be performing? And I know they can get your music on iTunes and y'all. Wait, before we go, what do you think about this streaming thing, the Tidal, the Pandora, the Yahoo? As an artist, I mean, and I know you're a new artist, so you might not have all the backtrack of the other recording industry life that was a lot of years ago. But what do you? I mean, this streaming service, is it working for you? And as a
consumer, it's definitely working. You know, it's definitely easier. It's definitely cheaper. It's definitely quicker. But as somebody who has received checks for pennies, and like, what is this? Why is this? What am I doing with this? And you know, you go on Spotify and it's hundreds of thousands of plays for just one song.
Yeah.
And you go back to the check and it says 0.02. You're like, I'm confused. Yeah. You know, if I did something 100,000 times, would I expect 2 pennies with it? I don't know. So I don't know about the whole business model. I don't want to act like a complete, expert on it all. I'm sure that at a certain point, the laws, the compensation, they're going to match the technology. But right now, the technology is way ahead, and we're still working to, I work with, I was just talking to the Grammy organization yesterday, and I've already worked with Sound Exchange, and they're the ones that do all the royalties for stuff like that, for Pandora and Spotify, and they're working to get the laws and everything else up to the technology, because right now, it don't make any sense for us, It's kind of crazy. It's pretty whack for us. So over time, I think it's gonna make sense again. We just have to change with the already changed technology.
Well, thanks for stopping by the Treehouse and being here for this episode of Soundcheck. We're gonna go to your listening party tomorrow.
Okay.
At ASCAP and hang out some more with you and hear your new music. But people will be checking it out. They'll be getting on iTunes, and hopefully we'll see you at some more award shows, getting some performing and getting some hardware.
You never know, man. That'd be great. That'd be great.
Hey, keep on working hard. It's coming to you. So thanks for the time.
My man.
All right. And I need you to do one drop for...
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Jonathan McReynolds, and you're tuned in to Uncommon Gospel.